young and the restless spoilers, the shadows beneath the Christmas tree. It was a cold December evening in Genoa City. The Newman household, like the rest of the town, was brimming with festive spirit. The towering Christmas tree in Sharon's living room sparkled with lights, ornaments, and ribbons, perfectly embodying the holiday season's joy. But beneath its cheerful exterior lurked a secret, a device that could unravel everything Sharon held dear. Jordan and Ian Ward had been playing a long game, one where patience and precision were their greatest allies. The bug they had planted within the Christmas tree was a masterpiece of modern espionage, hidden so intricately that no one, not even the sharpest detective, could uncover it without thorough inspection. This device allowed them to monitor every conversation, every whisper, every secret exchanged within the walls of Sharon's home. It was a perfect plan. Too perfect, perhaps. As the days passed, the two men sat in their lair, headphones glued to their ears, taking in every detail of Sharon's life. From mundane holiday chatter to the increasingly tense discussions about Heather's murder, they were privy to it all. And while Ian Ward prided himself on his ability to remain calm under pressure, a gnawing fear began to creep in. "This can't last forever," Ian muttered, pacing the room. "The more Sharon digs into this hypnosis thing, the closer she gets to uncovering truths we've hidden for years." Jordan smirked from his corner, his confidence unwavering. "Relax, Ian. She's chasing ghosts. Hypnosis might lead her to memories, but memories can be manipulated. We're always one step ahead." But Ian wasn't convinced. The risk was too great. Sharon's sessions under hypnosis were uncovering shocking insights about Heather's murder. Her determination to find the killer was relentless, and Ian feared that their carefully woven tapestry of lies might begin to unravel. The unstoppable Sharon had always been resilient, but the pain of Heather's death and the mystery surrounding it had driven her to new extremes. With each hypnosis session, she delved deeper into her subconscious, piecing together fragments of memories she didn't even know she had. It was as if her mind were a vast library, and she was discovering books she had never read. Dr. Camille, the psychologist guiding her through these sessions, marveled at Sharon's progress. "You're tapping into something extraordinary," she told her. "But be careful, Sharon. The truth can be as dangerous as it is liberating." Sharon nodded, her resolve unshaken. She couldn't stop now, not when she was so close to uncovering the identity of Heather's killer. Every revelation brought her one step closer to justice, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, her every move scrutinized. The brewing storm. Daniel and Nick. Meanwhile, tensions in Genoa City were reaching a boiling point. Nick Newman, Sharon's ex-husband, had become her fiercest protector. He saw her struggle and refused to let anyone undermine her, especially not Phyllis, his former wife and the mother of his children. But his protective instincts often spilled over into aggression, particularly toward Daniel, Phyllis's son. Daniel had had enough. For weeks, he had watched Nick hurl accusations and insults at Phyllis, using every opportunity to demean her in front of others. Phyllis had always been a force to be reckoned with, but even she had her breaking points. Daniel couldn't stand by any longer and let his mother be dragged through the mud. One evening at Crimson Lights, Nick and Daniel finally came face to face. The air between them was electric, charged with anger and unresolved history. "Why don't you just back off, Nick?" Daniel spat, his fists clenched. "You think you're some knight in shining armor protecting Sharon? Newsflash. You're just a hypocrite hiding behind your own guilt." Nick's eyes narrowed. "You don't know what you're talking about, Daniel. Sharon's been through hell, and the last thing she needs is someone like your mother trying to drag her down." Daniel took a step closer, his voice low but firm. "My mother isn't the villain you make her out to be. Maybe you should focus on fixing your own mess instead of tearing down the people around you." The tension was palpable, and the patrons of Crimson Lights began to murmur, sensing the confrontation about to unfold. Both men were deeply connected to the drama surrounding Heather's murder and Sharon's quest for the truth, but their personal animosity threatened to overshadow everything else. The promise of an explosive showdown as Christmas approached, the stakes in Genoa City continued to rise. Sharon's hypnosis sessions were uncovering startling revelations about Heather's death, revelations that could implicate someone close to her. Ian Ward and Jordan, meanwhile, struggled to maintain their facade. knowing that their secret was only as safe as the device hidden in Sharon's Christmas tree. Nick and Daniel's feud simmered, threatening to erupt into an all-out confrontation that could change their lives forever. The residents of Genoa City watched, waited, and whispered, knowing that the holiday season would bring more than just joy and celebration. It would bring truths, betrayals, and perhaps even justice. In the shadows, Jordan and Ian plotted their next move, determined to stay ahead of Sharon's discoveries. But deep down, Ian knew that their time was running out. Sharon was getting closer, and when the truth came to light, no one would emerge unscathed. As the snow fell gently over Genoa City, the stage was set for an unforgettable chapter in the lives of its residents. Secrets hidden beneath the Christmas tree were about to come to light, and the consequences would be felt by all. The mystery of Damien. For weeks, Damien had been a shadowy figure in Nate's life, a name whispered in hushed tones, a puzzle missing its final piece. Following Denise's cryptic directions, Nate embarked on a journey that felt more like chasing ghosts than uncovering truths. Despite his best efforts, no one seemed to know who Damien was, where he came from, or what role he played in the labyrinthine events unfolding around them. Nate, determined as ever, had followed Denise's instructions meticulously. She had claimed that Damien held the key to unlocking the secrets he desperately sought, secrets that could shift the balance of power in ways no one in Genoa City could foresee. Yet every lead turned into a dead end, every clue dissolved into nothingness. Frustration gnawed at Nate as he contemplated returning to Genoa City empty-handed. But just as he was ready to abandon the search, Audra stepped in, her voice calm yet firm. "Listen to me, Nate," she said, her piercing gaze locking onto his. "Success doesn't come from rushing back to safety when things get hard. You're on the brink of something significant. Whatever this Damien mystery is, it's worth pursuing. Take a step back, breathe, and think strategically. If you go back now, you'll regret it." Nate frowned, his mind a whirlwind of doubts and questions. Audra's advice was sound, but his instincts urged him to return to Genoa City, where he felt he could regain some semblance of control. The weight of his indecision hung heavy in the air. A new alliance in Genoa City. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, an unexpected scene was unfolding at the Abbott estate. Ashley Abbott and Diane Jenkins, two women who had spent years locked in bitter enmity, sat together in the dimly lit living room, their expressions softened by an air of reluctant camaraderie. The Abbott family had endured its fair share of turmoil, and the two women had been at the heart of much of it. But tonight, something was different. Ashley broke the silence first, her voice steady but tinged with vulnerability. "We've spent so much time tearing each other apart, Diane. And for what? It's exhausting. I'm tired of the games, the manipulations. Maybe it's time we tried something new." Diane raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical but intrigued. "Are you suggesting we work together? After everything that's happened between us?" Ashley nodded slowly. "Yes, for the family, for Jack, for Jabot. We both want the same thing, a strong, united Abbott family. If that means setting aside our differences, then so be it." Diane studied Ashley carefully, searching for any hint of deception. But Ashley's sincerity was undeniable. Diane sighed, leaning back in her chair. "You're right," Diane admitted. "We've wasted so much time fighting when we could have been building something meaningful. If we want the Abbott name to stand for strength and unity, we have to start with ourselves." The two women shared a tentative smile, a rare moment of understanding that hinted at the possibility of a brighter future. It wasn't a full reconciliation, but it was a start. And in Genoa City, even the smallest steps could lead to monumental changes. A city of secrets and struggles. While Ashley and Diane began to forge an uneasy alliance, the rest of Genoa City was abuzz with its usual intrigue and drama. Rumors of Nate's search for Damien had begun to circulate, though few knew the true stakes of his journey. Those who had heard of Damien speculated wildly about his identity: a ghost from the past, a dangerous adversary, or perhaps a mere figment of someone's imagination. Audra, ever the strategist, kept a close eye on the situation, ensuring that Nate didn't act impulsively. She knew that patience was key, that rushing to conclusions would only lead to disaster. And as much as Nate hated to admit it, Audra's calculated approach was starting to make sense. Back in the Abbott household, the newfound alliance between Ashley and Diane was already being tested. Old wounds didn't heal overnight, and their shared history was a minefield of grudges and betrayals. But both women were determined to stay the course, knowing that the future of their family depended on their ability to work together. "Do you think we can really do this?" Diane asked one evening, her tone uncharacteristically uncertain. Ashley hesitated before answering. "I don't know, but I'm willing to try." "That's more than I could have said a year ago,"